Are you tired of playing great golf at home but looking like a beginner on golf trips? The problem isn't your talent, it's 7 strategic mistakes. From picking the ego tee to aiming at the wrong flags, you're giving away free shots. Let's fix that. Here are 7 things you must avoid if you want to play well on a course you've never seen. Here's the thing about golf. At your home course, you're dangerous. You know the 6th green runs fast. You know the dogleg on 12 plays shorter than the card says. You've got a mental map of every bunker and slope. But show up somewhere new? Suddenly you're carding an 89 when you normally shoot 82. Here's the kicker. Your swing didn't change. Your ball striking was fine. What changed was your strategy. Or more accurately, you didn't have one. Tour pros don't just play it safe on new courses. They use a completely different playbook. They eliminate hero shots. They tighten their patterns. They treat the first round like a spy mission. And the data backs it up. Smart course management saves multiple shots per round without changing your swing at all. Today, we're breaking down 7 traps that architects set for first-timers. Let's get into it. Mistake number 1, the tee box illusion. Pop quiz. You step onto a tee at a course you've never played. What's the first question you ask? If you said, "What club fits this fairway?" you just walked into the trap. Here's why. Most golfers stand on the tee and let their eyes do the thinking. The fairway looks wide on the left. There's trouble on the right. So you aim left and rip driver. Feels good, right? Wrong. You just set yourself up for a blind approach over a bunker you didn't know existed. Tour pros do the opposite. They start at the green and work backward. They ask, "What's my ideal approach distance? What angle opens up this green? Where do I not want to miss?" Only after they answer those questions do they pick a club. Let me give you an example. A par 4 looks wide open off the tee. You crush one down the middle. Perfect, right? But now, you're staring at a green tucked behind a massive bunker. No clear line. Meanwhile, the guy who hit a 4-iron to the right corner, he's got a wide-open wedge with the whole green in front of him. Architects angle tee boxes to point you toward trouble. It's called the visual lie. The tee box aims you at disaster, and your brain just follows along. Here's the truth. Hitting the fairway is not the goal. Hitting the fairway at the correct angle is the goal. Sometimes the rough on the right is better than the fairway on the left. So before you tee it up on a new course, flip the script. Green to tee, angle first, distance second. But picking the right target is useless if you don't understand how your brain is lying to you about where you're aiming. Mistake number 2, aiming with eyes instead of dispersion. Let's talk about something most golfers get completely wrong. You don't hit a line, you hit a shotgun pattern. Think about it. You aim at a target, sure, but your ball doesn't go exactly there every time. Sometimes it's 5 yards right, sometimes it's 10 yards left. That's your dispersion cone. And on a new course, ignoring that cone is how you find water you didn't even know was in play. Here's the trap. You see a dogleg right with water on the right. Your eyes say, "Cut the corner, aim at that tree." But here's what your eyes aren't telling you. If you aim at the tree and you hit your normal slice, you're wet. Game over. The decade system teaches this. Aim so your entire dispersion pattern avoids the double bogey hazard. Not just your perfect shot, your whole pattern. Let me paint a picture. Dogleg right, water right. The amateur aims down the middle and hopes. The pro? He aims at the left rough. If he hits it straight, he's in the fairway. If he slices, he's still in the fairway. If he really slices, he's in the right rough but still dry. Here's the part that messes with people's heads. If your target feels comfortable, it's probably wrong. On a new course, the correct line often feels like you're aiming at nothing. It feels weird. It feels safe. And that's exactly the point. Architects use tree lines, cart paths, and cut lines to bait you into aiming at trouble. Your job is to ignore what looks right and trust the math. Aim away from disaster. Let your dispersion do the rest. Now that we're in play off the tee, let's talk about the decision that happens before you even hit a shot. The one that quietly sabotages your entire round. Mistake number 3, ignoring the yardage profile. Real talk, how many times have you shown up to a new course and picked the tees that match your handicap without thinking twice? Yeah, that's your ego talking. And it's about to cost you 6 strokes. Here's the thing, 6,500 yards at your home course is not the same as 6,500 yards on a track you've never seen. New courses have blind carries, forced layups, elevated greens, hidden hazards. All of that changes the math. If you're hitting hybrids into 6 or more greens on a course you don't know, you are guaranteed to make doubles. Why? Because you can't hold greens with long irons when you don't know where the trouble is. The ball lands, releases, and suddenly you're chipping from who knows where. Let me tell you a story. Guy insists on playing the blue tees. "I always play blues," he says, spends the entire day hitting 3 wood into elevated greens. Every approach rolls off the back. Every chip is from a downhill lie. He shoots 94 and blames the course conditions. Meanwhile, his buddy played 1 tee up. Hit wedges and 9 irons all day. Shot 81. Same swing, different strategy. Here's the truth. Challenge is not measured by total yardage. Challenge is measured by approach angles. Playing shorter tees on a first loop isn't cheating, it's reconnaissance. It's smart. You're not trying to conquer the course on round 1. You're trying to learn it. Where are the bunkers? How firm are the greens? What's the rough like? Once you know that, move back. But on day 1, tee it forward. Give yourself wedges. Learn the layout without the penalty of hitting 4 irons into greens you can't see. Even from the perfect tee, there's one piece of equipment most golfers completely ignore, and it's costing you 2 shots a round. Mistake number 4. Underusing intel. Imagine you're a Navy SEAL about to run a mission in enemy territory. You gonna just walk in blind? Or are you gonna study maps, talk to locals, and plan every exit? Golf is no different. Except most golfers treat a new course like a surprise party. They show up, grab a cart, and hope for the best. Bad idea. Here's what's at stake. New courses have hidden hazards, runouts you can't see, bunkers that don't show up until your ball is in them, false fronts, collection areas, creeks that cut across landing zones. And if you don't know they're there, you're gambling, not golfing. Modern tech has made this so easy, it's almost embarrassing not to use it. GPS apps show you flyovers. They measure to the back of bunkers, not just the front of greens. And yet, golfers still refuse to pull out their phone because they think it's cheating. You know what slows down play? Hitting 3 balls in the water because you didn't know there was a creek 280 yards out. Here's a 30-second hack that saves strokes. Talk to the starter. Ask 3 questions. Does everything break toward the ocean? Is the rough playable? Any holes where I should lay back off the tee? That's it. 30 seconds. And now you've got intel that took the members years to figure out. Here's the truth. Surprise is the enemy of scoring. If you hit a shot without knowing exactly what's behind the green, you're not playing golf. You're playing roulette, and the house always wins. So, you've done your recon. You're in the fairway. Now comes the decision that separates the 80 shooters from the 90 shooters. Mistake number 5. Playing to the flag, not the slope. Here's a question that's gonna make you uncomfortable. Why are you aiming at the flag? No, seriously. Why? Because it's there? Because that's what you're supposed to do. Let me tell you what the data says. On approach shots outside 100 yards, aiming at the center of the green is the statistically correct play. For almost every golfer, on almost every hole. Especially on a course you've never played. Here's why. You don't know the slopes yet. You don't know the subtle breaks. You don't know where the false fronts are or how the ball releases. So when you fire at a tucked pin and miss by 5 yards, you're not just missing the green, you're short-sighting yourself. And that's the cardinal sin. Let me paint the picture. Back right pin, tucked behind a bunker. The amateur aims at the pin, misses 5 yards right. Now he's in a deep bunker with no green to work with. He blasts out, rolls it 10 feet past, and 2 putts for bogey, maybe double. The pro? He aims 15 feet left of the pin, misses slightly right. Now he's got a 10-footer for birdie and a tap-in for par. Same swing, different target. Here's the belief-breaking part. Aiming at the flag is actually a sign of low confidence in your putting. You aim at flags because you're scared of 30-foot putts. But here's the truth. You're way better at lagging from 30 feet than you are at getting up and down from a short-sighted bunker. Play to the fat side of the green. Let the slopes feed the ball toward the hole. Give yourself room to miss. Boring golf is scoring golf. Speaking of putting, this next mistake happens before you even walk to the first tee, and it destroys your confidence in the first 3 holes. Mistake number 6. Fighting the wrong opponent. Picture this. You show up to a new course. You've got 45 minutes before your tee time. What do? If you said pound drivers on the range, you just lost 2 strokes before you even started. Here's the reality. You cannot fix your swing 10 minutes before a round. You just can't. But you know what you can fix? Your touch. And on a new course, misreading speed is the #1 cause of 3 putts. Not misreading line, speed. Think about it. At your home course, you know the greens. You know how firm they are, how fast they run, how much break to play. But on a new course, you're guessing. And when you guess wrong on a downhill 6-footer, you're suddenly looking at a comeback 4-footer that makes your hand shake. Here's the stat that should scare you. The average golfer loses more strokes to 3 putts on new courses than they do to missed fairways. Let that sink in. So here's the calibration drill. Spend 10 minutes on the practice green. Hit putts while looking at the hole, not the ball. Let your eyes sync with your arm speed. Hit 20 footers, 30 footers, downhill, uphill. You're not trying to make them. You're trying to feel the speed. Let me tell you what happens when you skip this. You walk to the first green, you've got a 12-footer for birdie. Downhill, fast. You give it a confident stroke and watch in horror as it races 8 feet past the hole. Now you're putting for par. You miss. Bogey. And your confidence is shattered before you even get to the second tee. Here's the truth. The practice green is where you save shots. The range is just for loosening muscles. Stop trying to find your swing. Start trying to find the speed. That's the opponent on a new course. Not the architect, not the hazards, the greens. Finally, we have to talk about the moment where everything goes sideways. The moment where one bad decision turns a bogey into a triple. Mistake number 7, the hero recovery. Let's be honest, we've all been there. You hit a bad drive, you're in the trees, you've got a tiny gap between 2 branches, and your brain says, I can thread this, I can get it on the green, I can save par. No, you can't. Here's the math. A bogey doesn't kill your round. A double or a triple does. And doubles happen when you try to follow a bad shot with a great one. On a new course, you don't know how the ball releases out of the rough. You don't know if those trees have low branches. You don't know if there's a bunker waiting on the other side. So when you try the hero shot and it fails, you're not just still in trouble, you're in worse trouble. And now you're hitting 4 from the same spot. Let me tell you a story. Par 5. Guy hits it in the trees off the tee. He's got a narrow window to the green. 220 yards, over water. He goes for it, hits a branch, stays in the trees, tries again, hits another tree, finally punches out. He's lying 5, makes 8, round over. His playing partner, same drive, same trees. Pitched out sideways to the fairway, laid up to 100 yards, wedged it to 10 feet, made the putt, walked off with a 6. Not great, but not round-ending. Here's the truth. Hero shots are ego shots. The most pro move you can make is pitching out sideways. It looks like giving up, it feels like surrender, but it's actually ruthless aggression against the scorecard. Tour pros eliminate big numbers. That's the whole game. They don't try to be heroes in the trees. They take their medicine, they get back in play, they move on. And that's why they shoot 68 while you shoot 88. On a new course, you don't have the luxury of knowing the penalties for failure. So don't guess, don't gamble, get back to a yardage you know. Hit the shot you're confident in. Save the heroics for the course you've played 50 times. The next time you book a tee time at a new spot, don't just grab your driver and hope for the best. Use the tips we covered today, do your recon, pick the smart target, and leave your ego in the car. You don't need a perfect swing to lower your score, you just need better decisions. If you're ready to stop giving away free shots, click the like button so I know to make more videos like this. Stop trying to be a hero, start being a scorer.